Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Chaitanya Caritāmrta class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Srī Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathānvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नितिनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone. We are continuing our discussion from Caitanya Caritāmrta. We are on Madhya lila, chapter 18, entitled Lord Chaitanya's Visit to Sri Vrindavan Dham. We have heard how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he spent some days in Mathura, and from there, along with Samodiya Brahman, he traveled to various places in Vrindavan, and he traveled to all the 12 forests of Vrindavan. So in this 18th chapter, we heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he is traveling all over Vrindavan, he is pleasing everyone, pleasing moving and non-moving living entities just by his glances. And personally, he is very much happy, satisfied being in Vrindavan. That was his cherished desire to be in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan Dham, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is traveling to many places. He reaches Aritagram. Aritagram is the place where Arishtasur was killed. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked about the famous Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. Nobody could tell. It was not known to anyone where is Radha Kund, Shyam Kund. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understood that the holy place of Radha Kund is now Lupta. So as he is wondering, he finds two small puddles of water in the midst of paddy field. And he understood that this is Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. He took bath there, in ecstasy chanted the names of the Lord, glorified Sri Radha Kund, Yatha Radha Priya Vishnu Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Vaideshu Sarva Gopishu Sevaika Vishnu Atyant Vallabha. Just like Radharani is very dear to Krishna, her Kund, Radha Kund is also very, very dear to Krishna. He describes beautiful glorification of Radha Kund. So we heard till verse number 14. So we'll continue from 15th verse. From Radha Kund, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to Sumanasa Lake, and that is Mansi Ganga. From there he saw Govardhan Hill, and he became overwhelmed in ecstasy seeing Govardhan Hill. He immediately offered obeisances. He fell down like a rod, Dandavat Pranam, to Govardhan Hill, and he picked up one piece of Govardhan Shila and embraced it, and he became mad in ecstasy. He came to Govardhan village. There he saw the deity of Haridev the famous deity of Haridev, which we see when we do parikrama of Govardhan. Lord offered obeisances to Haridev. He started dancing, singing. Haridev, he is the incarnation of Lord Narayan. And you know the story when the gopis, they were searching for Krishna. Krishna appeared as Narayan just to cheat them, trick them. So that is the deity of Haridev. So Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he is mad in ecstasy, taking darshan of Haridev, and he is dancing. And as he is dancing, all the people, they came to see him. Prabhu prema saundarya dekhi loke chamatkar Haridevera bhritya prabhura korila satkar. As Mahaprabhu is dancing in ecstasy, Prabhu prema saundarya. So two things, they are very, very prominent in Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Wherever Mahaprabhu goes, he attracts everyone by these two things. By his extraordinary beauty and by the manifestation of ecstatic symptoms. They are very, very attractive. Unheard, unseen, ecstatic emotions are displayed by Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Shved, Kamp, Romanch, Ashru, Gadgad, Vaivarnya, Unmad, Vishad, Garab, Harsh, Dainya. We have heard the ecstatic symptoms in great detail. What would happen to Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu in front of Rath Yatra when he went and took darshan of Lord Jagannath for the first time, completely stunned in ecstasy? What would happen to him in Gambhira? So Mahaprabhu, he would attract everyone by his prem and saundarya. Prabhu prema saundarya dekhi loke chamatkar Haridevera bhritya. So all the priests and the servants of Haridev deity, when they saw Lord Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, they were really surprised. They gave a very wonderful reception to Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. From there, he went to Brahmakund. He accepted prasad. Bhattacharya there, he cooked prasad. Lord took his bath at Brahmakund and accepted lunch there. At that night, he stayed at the temple of Haridev, and in the night time, he began to think something. Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu is thinking. He's thinking that I cannot climb on Govardhan hill because Govardhan is not different than Krishna. So Mahaprabhu had a regulation. He would never climb on Govardhan. He would never put his feet on Govardhan hill. So he was thinking, how will I be able to see Gopal Rai? Because deity of Gopal is on the top of Govardhan and I will never climb Govardhan. So how will I take darshan of Gopalji? So thinking like this, he was silent. But Gopal, he wanted to give darshan to Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So knowing the contemplation of Mahaprabhu, Gopal played a trick. Anarurukshave shailam swasmai bhakta vimanine avaruhya gire Krishna gauraya swam adarshayat. Anarurukshave shailam. Because Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu was unwilling to climb. Anaruruksha. I don't want to climb Govardhan hill. So because he had this bhakta abhiman, I am a devotee, how can I put feet on the Lord? That is the abhiman of a devotee. I am a devotee, I am an insignificant servant. How can I put feet on the Lord? Swasmai bhakta abhimanine. So what he did, Krishna, avaruhya gire Krishna. Krishna himself came down just to give darshan to Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gopalji, he stayed in a village called Annakutagram. And in this village, the villagers are mainly from Rajasthan. So Srila Prabhupada writes, he quotes in many of these verses, Srila Prabhupada, he is quoting from Bhakti Ratnakar. So in this Bhakti Ratnakar, the description of entire Vrindavan is given. And Srila Prabhupada would quote from Bhakti Ratnakar. Gopa Gopi Bhunjaina Kautuka Apar Ei Hetu Aniyor Nam Se Ihar Annakuta Sthane Dekh Srinivas Ei Sthana Darshane Hoye Purna Vilash. So here in this Bhakti Ratnakar, it is described Srinivas is addressed here. Just see this place, Annakuta Gram. Here, all the Gopas and the Gopis, they had wonderful pastimes with Lord Krishna. And this place is also called as Aniyor. We know the famous story of Govardhan Lila, when all the bhoga is offered to the Lord Govardhan, and instantly Govardhan, he accepted everything. Everything went inside the belly of Govardhan. Krishna himself manifested as Govardhan and ate all the bhoga. And then he is asking, Aniyor, I want more. So this place, this gram, it is called as Annakut gram, also called as Aniyor gram. So in this place, wonderful pastimes of Gopas and Gopis with Krishna are described. And Kundera Nikatate Khur Nivida Kanan Ethai Gopala Chilaha Yasangopan. And in the forest near this Annakuta gram or Aniyor gram, Gopalji was hidden for many, many years. Before Madhavendra Puri came and revealed Gopalji. So that was the same place near Aniyor gram from where Gopalji was revealed again. Srila Prabhupada quotes from Gaur Vilas Stava written by Raghunath Das Goswami. So this describes how Nanda Maharaj, he offered huge quantities of prasad, huge quantities of bhoga, food to Govardhan. Vajendavaryapit bhogamuchair dritva brihat kayam aghariruktai varena radham shalayan vipumte yatrannakutam tadaham prapatye. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he is writing, this is the same place where Nanda Maharaj, he offered huge quantities of food to Govardhan Hill. And Krishna, he himself assumed a huge, gigantic form and invited everyone, please ask benedictions. I am Govardhan, Shailosmi Ti. I am Govardhan, please ask for benedictions. And in this place, even Radha Krishna deceived Srimati Radharani and he ate all the offerings. Even Srimati Radharani did not know that he is Krishna himself. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he writes, let me take shelter of this Annakuta gram. Raghunath Das Goswami has written a beautiful Ashtakam called Dashakam, Govardhana Dashaka. Beautiful description of Govardhan. Nij nikat nivasa dehi govardhanastvam. So Srila Prabhupada writes about this Annakuta gram. So how this Gopalji came down from Govardhan Hill to Annakuta gram, and from there he moved to some other place. So some people would come to the village and they would tell, oh, the Turkish soldiers are coming, the Muslim soldiers are coming to attack and they will destroy everything. Nobody should stay in this village, not even one person. Take the deity with you and go away from this village. So all the villagers, fearful of the attack of these Turkish soldiers, Yavana soldiers, they were in very great anxiety they moved to a place called as Ganthuli Gram. And the deity of Gopalji stayed in the house of a Brahmana there, concealed. Secretly, everybody was coming there and taking darshan of Gopalji. And the deity kept moving from one place to another place out of fear of Yavana soldiers. And sometimes they would hide the deity in bush. Sometimes they would hide the deity in the house of some devotee, some Brahman. Sometimes they would move the deity from this village to that village. So Sri Gopalji, he is doing all these wonderful pastimes just to give darshan to the devotees and Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. In the morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would take bath in Mansi Ganga, and then he would every day do parikrama of Govardhan Hill. And while doing parikrama of Govardhan Hill, he would be absorbed in ecstatic love. Just seeing the Govardhan Hill, he would be singing a beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. The famous verse which the gopis they sang when they were in Govardhan. Hantaya matrirabala haridasa varyo yad Rama Krishna charana sparsha pramodaha manam tanoti sago ganayostayorya pani asuyavasa kandar kandamule. So the gopis they are telling, just see this Govardhan hill, Hanta Ayam, oh my friends, this Adri, this mountain, it is Haridasa Variya. It is the best of the devotees of Krishna. So Govardhan is Krishna and the best devotee of Krishna also. Antaya Madrirabala Haridasa Varyo. And what this Govardhan does? Because this Govardhan is touched. Yad Rama Krishna Charana Sparasha Pramodaha. Because this Govardhan is always in touch with the lotus feet of Krishna and Balaram. It is Pramoda, it is always jubilant. Anyone who comes in touch with Krishna, he can never be morose. He can never be unhappy. Moroseness comes in the life of people when they are not in touch with Krishna. Krishna is the supreme source of happiness. He is Satchidananda Vigraha. The more we are in touch with Krishna, the more will experience the joy of bhakti, Sandrananda Visheshatma. So Govardhan, always in touch with Krishna. Whenever Krishna would walk on Govardhan, he would lie down, he would do so many wonderful pastimes. So therefore, Govardhan is always happy. And what this Govardhan does in turn? Manam tanoti sahago ganayostayoryat. So the hill offers all the respects to the Lord by supplying Krishna and Balaram and all the cowherd boys, all the calves. He supplies. What does he supply? Pani asuyavasa kandara kandamule. He supplies them with all kinds of necessities, water for drinking, tender grasses for the calves, wonderful caves to play, to perform pastimes, wonderful fruits on the trees of Govardhan, flowers, vegetables. So everything is provided by Govardhan. That's why Govardhan is the best of the devotees. So the gopis, they are speaking among themselves and they are glorifying Govardhan, they are glorifying Krishna and Balaram. So Mahaprabhu, he would do parikrama of Govardhan, he would take bath in Govinda Kund. And as Mahaprabhu was taking bath in Govinda Kund, he heard that Gopalji has come to Ganthuli Gram. Immediately Mahaprabhu went to Ganthuli Gram. And he took darshan of the beautiful deity of the Lord to his heart's content. He was so very happy, overwhelmed in ecstasy, dancing, singing, chanting. And he saw the beauty of Gopalji. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he recited a verse. The Prabhupada writes in the purport to this 37th verse about Govind Kunda. He quotes Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he says, some people say that Queen Padmavati has excavated this Govind Kunda, and in Bhakti Ratnakar, it is described that this Kunda, Hey Shri Govind Kunda Mahima Anek, Etha Indra Koila Govindera Abhishek. The glories of Govind Kunda are unlimited. It is this at this place that Indra he performed Abhishek of Lord Krishna. After he realized his mistake, he came along with Surabhi cow, offered obeisances, asked forgiveness from Krishna, and then he brought waters from the celestial Ganga, and Airavat did wonderful Abhishek. All the Apsaras they did Abhishek, they form Apsara Kund. So that is how this place is Govinda Kunda. He quotes another verse from Gaur Vilas Stava written by Raghunath Das Goswami. There he describes the story, what happened. Indra, he was feeling really sad, morose, understood his great mistake, and in utter humility, he, he realized he could not go alone and ask forgiveness from Krishna. So he went to Surabhi, took her with him, and he came in front of Krishna and he asked forgiveness. He brought waters from the heavenly Ganga, Mandakini Ganga, and did the Abhishek of Krishna. So Raghunath Das Goswami says, I pray that Govinda Kunda may eternally appear before my eyes. That's the glory of Govinda Kunda. Yatra Abhishikto Bhagavan Maghona Yaduvairina Govinda Kundam Tacchatam Snanamatre Namokshadam. Anyone who takes bath in Govinda Kunda will get love of God, will get liberation. This is the place where Indra he did Abhishek of Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada writes about this Gantuli Gram a little bit. Gantuli Gram is situated between the two villages, Bilachu and Gopalpur. And it is said that this is the place where Radha and Krishna met first time. Sakhi Duha Vastre Ganthi Dila Sangopane. So in this place, as Radha and Krishna they are sitting, the Sakhis they tied the garments of Radha and Krishna. Ganth. That's why this place is called as Ganthuli Gram. And then they took one something called as Phaguya and they untied the knot. So that's why this gram is called as Ganthuli Gram. So Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he offered obeisances to Govinda Kunda. He offered obeisances to Govardhan. He recited this following verse, beautiful verse, glorifying the Gopala deity. This verse says, Vamastamara Sakshasya Bhujadanda Sapatuva Rida Kandukatam Yena Nito Govardhano Girihi. So this Gopal deity, the left hand of the Gopal deity is raised like Krishna lifting Govardhan. So that is a description which Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is giving here. Vama Tamara Sakshasya. May the left hand of Sri Krishna, Vama is the left hand. May the left hand of Krishna, whose eyes, Tamara Akshasya, Krishna, whose eyes are like the petals of the lotus, reddish. May that Supreme Lord, may that left arm of Krishna always protect you. Bhujdandam sapatuvaha. May that left arm of Krishna always protect you. And with his left arm, he lifted Govardhan just like a toy. Kandukata. Kandukata means just like a toy, just like a ball. So Gopalji, he wanted to give darshan to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He arranged all this wonderful pastime, came to Gantuligram. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there for 3 days. And then after that, they realized that there are no soldiers coming. So Gopalji returned back to Govardhan temple. And there was a big procession. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing and singing the glories of the Lord. He was chanting and dancing in front of the deity. And the people, all the Brajvasis, they are also chanting and dancing in this way. In a wonderful procession, the deity again went to the Govardhan temple. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his desires were fulfilled. Ei mat gopalera karuna swabhav, ei bhakta janera dekhite hoye bhav. That is the way Sri Gopalji is always kind to his devotees. That's how Lord is. It is not that we want to have darshan of the Lord and Lord is indifferent. The Lord is more eager to give darshan to the devotees, but he is just waiting to see that sincere desire, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would display. Such intense, sincere desire to have darshan of the Lord. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, so Sri Gopalji is just thinking, how can I give darshan to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So Gopalji arranged such a wonderful pastime, Karuna Swabhav. That's the merciful nature of Sri Gopalji. That's merciful nature of Krishna. Ei bhakta janira dekhite hoye bhav. That Krishna wants to see his devotees. It is not that just devotees want to see Krishna. Krishna wants to see his devotees. Just like devotees want to serve Krishna, Krishna wants to serve his devotees. But when a devotee has some ulterior motives, then Krishna, he is not so inspired to reciprocate. But for Pandavas, because they were doing everything for Krishna, Krishna was doing everything for Pandavas. Saratya parashada sevana sakya dautya virasananugamana stavana pranaman snigdheshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha Vishnu bhaktim karot nripatis charnara vinde. Snigdha, because the devotees, the Pandavas, were malleable to the will of Krishna. They were doing everything for Krishna. So Krishna, he was doing everything for his devotees. Saratya, Parshada, he would become Sarthi, he would become messenger, he would become their servant, he would protect them. So that's how Lord reciprocates with his devotees. Ei bhakta janera dekhite hoye bhav. That Krishna wants to see his devotees. And the devotees, they were overwhelmed with ecstatic love. देखिते उत्कंठा होए ना चढ़े गोवर्धने कौन चले गोपाल आसी उतरे आपने. So Mahaprabhu, he wanted to have darshan of Gopalji, but he didn't want to climb on Govardhan. So कौन चले, somehow by some trick, Gopalji came down to give darshan to Krishna, to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, giving some excuse, Gopalji stayed in village in Gantuligram. Sometimes he would stay in a bush, sometimes he would stay in house of some Brahman. And all the devotees, they would come to know, Gopalji has come in this village. They would go to that village to have darshan. And not only for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopalji came down for giving darshan to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami also, because they were also thinking, how will we get darshan of Gopalji? Because they are followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't climb, they would also not climb. So Gopalji came down again, grant darshan to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. In the same story, out of fear of Muslims, Gopalji went to Mathura, and there in Mathura, he stayed at the house of Vithaleshwar. For 1 month, Gopalji stayed there. So who is Vithaleshwar? Vithaleshwar, he is the son, younger son of Vallabhacharya, Vallabh. So in Bhakti Ratnakar, the description of Vithaleshwar is also given. So when Gopalji stayed in the house of Vithaleshwar, she would do such wonderful seva of Gopalji. Vithalera seva Krishna Chaitanya Vigraha, Tahara Darshane Haila Paramo Agraha, Srī Vithalanatha Bhatta Vallabha Tanai, Korilayate Kapriti Kohile na hoy. He he served Gopalji in such a wonderful way. It is indescribable how he served Gopalji. So Vallabh Bhatta, he had 2 sons. The elder one was Gopinath. He was born in around 1510 AD. And the younger one was Vithaleshwar. He was born in 1515 AD. So this Vithaleshwar, he was a very, very great acharya. He had 7 sons. He completed many of the works of Vallabh Bhatta. So Vallabhacharya has written a commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Subodhini, but he could not complete it. He written commentary on few cantos, and then Vithaleshwar, he completed that commentary. He wrote a commentary on Vedanta Sutra also. So in this way, when Gopalji stayed at the house of Vithaleshwar, Rupa Goswami came and he had darshan of Gopal deity. And when Rupa Goswami came, he was not alone. He came with so many great stalwart Vaishnavas. He came with Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Jiva Goswami, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath, and Lokanath Goswami. Srila Prabhupada writes about Lokanath Goswami a little bit. Lokanath Goswami is not spoken much. In Caitanya Caritāmrta, you will not find a description of Lokanath Goswami, because when Kaviraj Goswami, he wanted to write Srī Caitanya Caritāmrta, he went to all the devotees and he was taking blessings from everyone before writing. He went to Lokanath Goswami also. So Lokanath Goswami said, I'll give you my blessings, but I have one condition. You will not mention my name anywhere in Caitanya Caritāmrta. Out of his humility, he said that. Although he is not mentioned in Caitanya Caritāmrta, but Krishna, he orchestrates the story incidents in such a way that devotees glorified more than what could have happened in ordinary course of events. In Guru Puja, every day we sing Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Every day Lokanath Goswami is glorified. Lokanath Goswami, he was a personal associate of Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. He was a resident of a village called as Talakhadi. And before living there, he would live in another village called as Kachanapada. His father's name was Padmanabh. He was very much attached to Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. When Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to Jagannath Puri, he went there. Mahaprabhu gave instructions to Lokanath Goswami. You go and you excavate holy places in Vrindavan. So we know that Mahaprabhu gave instructions to Rup Sanatan Goswami that you excavate the holy places. He gave 4 instructions. Tumi kariha bhakti shastrera prachar mathuraya lupta tirthera kariha uddhar. Vrindavane Krishna seva vaishnava achar bhakti smriti shastra kariha prachar. But he has given some instructions to some great scholars, some other great devotees also. And one of the devotees was Lokanath Goswami. He didn't want to go to Vrindavan, leaving Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu's association. So Mahaprabhu, he requested him. So he ultimately, with a very heavy heart, he agreed. He went to Vrindavan along with his one more friend, Bhugarbha Goswami. And before Srila Rupa Goswami came, Lokanath Goswami and Bhugarbha Goswami, they had excavated more than 300 holy places in Vrindavan. Then Rupa Goswami came. They excavated more holy places. They built temples. They wrote scriptures. Established the standards of deity worship. So that's how Lokanath Goswami was such a great Vaishnava. Narottam Das Thakur, he selected Lokanath Goswami as his spiritual master. Lokanath Goswami was very humble soul. He didn't want to accept anyone as his disciple because he would think that he is not qualified. Narottam Das, he was son of a king. Leaving everything, he came to Vrindavan. He wanted to become the disciple of Lokanath Goswami. He went to Lokanath Goswami and he would beg, please accept me. Lokanath Goswami said, how can I accept you? You are son of a great king and I am a beggar. I am an insignificant person. I can't accept you. Lokanath Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, he thought, I am not qualified to become his disciple. Every day in the morning, Lokanath Goswami, he would go to respond to nature's call, and after he would leave, Narottam Das, with his own hands, he would clean the place again with water and he would keep everything very clean. And next day, when Lokanath Goswami would go there, he would be surprised. How come this place has become so clean? And day after day, this is happening. So one day, Lokanath Goswami, he hid in the bush nearby to see who is doing this. And it was Narottam. So as Narottam is cleaning this place, crying tears, feeling unqualified, Lokanath Goswami appears and says, Narottam, why are you doing this? He says, I am not qualified, you are not accepting me. So this is what I can do. Then only Narottam Das Thakur was accepted. He was the only disciple of Lokanath Goswami. So many devotees would come to the house of Vithaleshwar to take darshan of Sri Gopalji. All the Goswamis would come. Lokanath Goswami would be there, Bhugarbha Goswami, Yadavacharya, Govinda Goswami, they were all with Srila Rupa Goswami. Along with them, there were some other devotees also. Uddhava Das, Madhava, Gopal Das, Narayan Das, Govinda, Vani Krishna Das, Pundari, Kaksha, Ishana, Laghu Haridas. Srila Prabhupada writes this, Laghu Haridas is not Chota Haridas. This Laghu Haridas is different. He says any devotee of Krishna is Haridas. So there are many Haridasas. There is one Bada Haridas, Haridas Thakur. There was one Chota Haridas. There was one Madhyam Haridas also. So Prabhupada writes about that. So in great jubilation, Srila Rupa Goswami, he took darshan of Gopalji. And for 1 month, Gopalji stayed there. Rupa Goswami, he stayed at the house in that place for 1 month. And then he returned back to Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami describes, in this way, I have given a description of how Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, how Gopalji gave mercy to Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So after taking darshan of Gopalji, Mahaprabhu went to Kamyavan. Srila Prabhupada writes about Kamyavan, quotes from Adi Varah Puran. Kamyavan is not an ordinary place. Still today, Kamyavan is a very, very wonderful place, full of the pastime places of Krishna. Such wonderful pastimes. It is a place, it is the gufa of Vyomasur. It has footprints of Krishna and Balaram fighting with Vyomasur, fighting with Vatsasur. And it has place called as Dudh Katora, where Krishna would eat, keeping his bhoga on the stone. It has wonderful place. It has Kedarnath, Badrinath, and all that. Yamunotri, Gangotri. So Adivara Puran describes the glories of Kamyavan. Chaturtham Kamyaka Vanam Vananam Vanamuttamam Tatra Gatvo Naro Devi Mamloke Mahiyate. So Lord Shiva is telling this to Mother Parvati. He says, the best of all the forests is the fourth one, that is Kamyavan. Anyone who goes to this abode, he becomes eligible to enjoy the glories of Kailash. Lord Shiva is telling. Prabhupada quotes from Bhakti Ratnakar. Hey Kamyavane Krishna lila manohar karibe darshan sthana kunda bahutar Kamyavane yat tirtha lekhan hitar. Krishna performed wonderful pastimes in this place. Nobody can count how many pastime places are there in Kamyavan. And says, I'm not able to describe the sacred places in Kamyavan. So Mahaprabhu, he toured all these wonderful places. He traveled all over Vrindavan. He was in complete ecstasy traveling to all these wonderful places. After visiting Kamyavan, he went to Nandagaon or Nandishwar. It's a place of Nanda Maharaj. Overwhelmed in ecstasy, seeing this beautiful place. Srila Prabhupada describes about this this Nanda Bhavan or Nandishwar. In that Nandishwar, Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to Pavana Sarovar. And Pavana Sarovar is a place where Krishna would take bath, Nanda Maharaj would take bath. There was a kitchen of Radharani in that place. So Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he climbed on that hill and he asked the villagers there. So Srila Prabhupada describes about the glories of Pavana Sarovar. Pavana Sarovar, it is not an ordinary lake. Pavane sarasi snatva Krishnam Nandishware Giro Drishtva Nandam Yashodam cha Sarvabhishtam Avapnuyat. Anyone who takes bath in Pavana Sarovar, he will see Krishna along with Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, and all his desires will be fulfilled. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took bath there. He went to that hill. He asked people, are there any deities on top of this hill? And that people there said, yes, yes, there are deities on this hill, but they are located within that cave. And in that cave, you will find the deity of a father and the mother. They are very well built, and they have a beautiful boy in middle of them, curved in three places. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he understood. Oh, these are the deities of Krishna and Krishna and Nanda and Yashoda. People didn't know. They would just hear something. Oh, there are some deities. Nobody knew. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he became very happy. He entered and excavated that cave, and he saw the beautiful deities of Nanda, Yashoda, and Krishna. He became ecstatic. He chanted and danced, and everyone was surprised to see the deities. So finally, after taking darshan of Nanda Bhavan, Nandagaon, excavating the holy place there, finding the deities of Nanda, Yashoda, and Krishna, he went to Khadirvan. Khadirvan is also a wonderful place described in Tiratnagar. This Khadirvan, it is described, it is renowned all over the universe. And anyone who comes to Khadirvan becomes elevated to Vaikuntha or Vishnu Loka. After taking darshan of Khadirvan, Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu went to Sheshashai Vishnu. He saw Lakshmi there and he recited the beautiful verse spoken by the gopis. Yatte sujata charanam buruham staneshu Vita shanai priyadadimahi karkasheshu Tenatavim matati yad vyatatena kim sved Urpadivir bhramati dhir bhavadayushamna. So as gopis, they are with Krishna, they are dancing with Krishna, and suddenly Krishna left. Gopis go mad, searching for Krishna. And they are singing beautiful glories of Krishna. So in this verse, the gopis are remembering the lotus feet of Krishna. They are saying that, "Oh Krishna, oh beloved Lord, your lotus feet are so soft that we are fearful that if we place your feet on our chests, our breasts, they'll get hurt and will not be able to bear that. Our life rests in you only." We are filled with anxiety when we remember, when we understand that you are walking on the land of Vrindavan, which is covered with pebbles and thorns and hard rocks. Our minds are full of anxiety. So these are the thoughts of the gopis. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he sees the darshan of Lakshmi Devi there, he is remembering these verses. And then from there, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Bhandirvan. Bhandirvan is also called as Khela Tirth. So before Bhandirvan, there is a place called as Khela Tirth. Khela Tirth is a place where Sri Chaitanya, where Krishna and Balaram, they would play with cowherd boys. Then Mahaprabhu went to Bhandirvan. And from there, he crossed Yamuna river. He went to another place, Bhadravan. And then from there, he went to Shrivan. Shrivan is also called as Bilvavan. It is a place where Lakshmi Devi is performing tapasya to get a chance and enter into Rasa lila. But Lakshmi Devi is not getting entrance because Lakshmi Devi cannot give up this mood of awe and reverence. So Mahaprabhu went to Shrivan, then he went to Lohavan. Lohavan is a place where where Krishna would tend his cows. It is a place where Krishna killed a demon called Loh Jangahasur. Then he went to Mahavan. Mahavan is not different than Gokul. It is same. In Mahavan also, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, they have stayed. So there was house of Nanda, Yashoda. So Mahavan, it's a birthplace of Krishna, not different than Gokul. From there, he went to see the place where Yamala Arjuna trees were standing. And Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was absorbed in ecstasy seeing this beautiful place. And then after that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again returned to Mathura, went to birthplace of Krishna, then went to the house of Sanodia Brahman. When people came to know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is staying at the house of Sanodia Brahman, great crowds started assembling at his place. So therefore, Mahaprabhu would leave that place early morning. And ultimately, he left that place. He went to Akrura Ghat. And he would stay there because it was solitary. Srila Prabhupada describes about Akrura Ghat. Akrura Ghat is a place where Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in solitary place. And from Akrura Ghat, Srī Caitanya Mahaprabhu would go to Vrindavan. He would go to various places in Vrindavan. He would visit a place called as Praskandan. He would take bath in Kalia Lake. And Praskandan is a place where, many Suryas they came and they gave heat to Krishna after he was in Kalia Lake for long hours. Mahaprabhu went to Praskandan, then Dwadash Aditya Tila. From there, he would go to Keshi Ghat, Keshi Tirtha. Then he would go to Rasa Lila Sthali. So Mahaprabhu would be moving around in all these wonderful places. As he reached Rasa Sthali, he lost his consciousness. He began to roll in ground in ecstasy. Sometimes he would laugh, cry, dance, chant loudly. So in this way, he was happily spending his day in Vrindavan. In the evening time, he would again return to Akrura Tirtha. He would take his prasad. Next morning, again, he would go and visit various places in Vrindavan. He went to Chirghat and he went to Tentulitala. Tentulitala is a place where there was a tamarind tree. He would take rest there. And this is a place which was near Yamuna. Yamuna was practically flowing on the bank, on that nearby that river, nearby that tree, Imlitala. It was a solitary place. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would stay there, sit there. There was a shiny platform below that tree. Mahaprabhu would sit there and he would chant the names of the Lord. Whole day he would chant. And then in the noon time, Mahaprabhu would again go back to Akrura Tirtha. He would take lunch there. And Mahaprabhu, because he was staying at Akrura Tirtha, people came to know that Mahaprabhu is now staying at Akrura Tirtha. So many people would come to have darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because of this great crowd, Mahaprabhu was not able to chant properly. Such a great disturbance it was. Therefore, Mahaprabhu would leave Akrura Tirtha and he would sit under Imli Tal and he would chant. Whole morning he would chant. In the afternoon, Mahaprabhu would speak to some people. He would instruct them on the importance of the holy names. One day, there was one person, he was a Rajput Brahmin. And he was a Rajput or Kshatriya Vaishnava. His name was Krishna Das. He came to see the Lord and he took bath at the Keshi Tirtha and then he went to Kalia Daha. Kalia Daha is a place where Kalia Lila happened. And as he went there, he saw Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu from Kalia Daha. He saw Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu sitting under that Imli Tal, that Tentulitala. He was mesmerized seeing the beauty of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He went and offered obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu asked, "Who are you? Where is your home? Where do you stay?" So this Krishnadas, he says, I am a Rajput by caste. I am a fallen householder. In his humility, he introduced himself as a fallen householder. My home is just on the other side of Yamuna River. But I want to be a servant of a Vaishnava. And today, my dream is fulfilled. I came here and I found you. So that's how humbly he is surrendering to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He offered obedience. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he heard this wonderful devotee expressing such humility, he became pleased. He gave his blessing. And as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he imparted his blessings. He became absorbed, mad in ecstatic love. Krishnadas. He started chanting and dancing in ecstasy. And then, along with Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to Akrura Ghat, Akrura Tirtha, and both of them they took prasad together. And next morning, wherever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, he went with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, carrying the water pot of Mahaprabhu. And ultimately, although he was the householder, he left his wife, he left his children, and he would be always with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that some Mahaprabhu is performing wonderful pastimes in Vrindavan. Next time we'll see how Balbhadra Bhattacharya, he gets confused by something. Mahaprabhu, he was on South India Yatra, and his servant Kal Krishnadas, he got seduced because of lust. And now in North India, in Vrindavan, this Balabhadra Bhattacharya, he gets confused because of speculation, because of the rumors. So we'll see next time. We'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Caitanya Caritāmrta ki jai.